Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Cinnamon Stitches. I'm your yarn host Jennifer. Today, I'm drinking some water. It's Monday. Happy Monday morning to ya. Now, on Monday, we come on and talk about the insanity of the week, and we talk about what I've been working on for the past 7 days. I even kind of surprised myself with this one. So buckle up, Buttercup, because we got a lot to talk about. Oh, I was in bed last night and I'm wondering why I felt so bad. My stomach was bothering me. I had a really bad headache and I was exhausted. I'm like, why do I feel so bad? But something I said to Mr. Cinnamon and the children yesterday kind of resonated with me this morning. I told them I'm not only burning my candle at both ends, but I'm burning it down the middle too. Now, when you see what I've been working on this week, you will understand why. These makes have been made in the past 7 days. There's a lot to show. So, 3 things I cannot show you because 3 things are a tutorial for Premiere Week, and I'm very excited. They're over there in a laundry basket. Now, that's 3 things. They're small things, so they're 2 of the tutorials for Premiere Week. We're going to be talking about Premiere Week a lot this coming couple weeks. 2 of the tutorials so far are easy, under an hour type thing that you can make in under an hour. Super fun to make, and I cannot wait. You guys are going to be so excited. Furthermore, in between all of that, I was trying, that ain't the right project bag. Just get some of this stuff out of the way. I can't wait to show those to you. Because I have also been sewing this week. I do not know where all of my energy has come from. I do not know how I managed to do all of these things. I do not know how I'm sitting upright. No. This is not me giving a hard brag on myself, but kinda I'm giving a hard brag on myself. Because I don't know how I got through everything I got through. Now, if you guys recall, you may not recall, this yarn, this beautiful yellow yarn, which I discovered after I started working with it, is a 3-weight, not a 4-weight, because I doubled them together to make the shawl I'm about to show you. I got, and I will try to remember to link the video below so you guys can watch it, so you can refresh your memories. I got mill end bags at the $1.25 tree. And I paid $1.25 for a mill end bag, which had minimum of 6 skeins of yarn in it. This is beautiful yarn. Feels anti-pilling acrylic. It's yellow. I think it's a DK weight because I also got this color, which is a beautiful blue color. It's like a slate blue. And when I held that doubled together, because I was trying, you guys know, I have a basket back here. I made this beautiful basket. It's filled with yarns that I want to use or at least find room on the shelves to put them in there. And I'm trying to use up the yarn that is in that basket. By the way, I hung that up right there for now because it's beautiful. That's fabric I got from Walmart. I'm going to say I made that, but really what I did is I just put it over the bookshelf. And it's beautiful and it makes me happy. And it goes with all of the decor in here behind you guys that you guys cannot see. So I had a pack of the yellow and a pack of the blue and a pack of the white, which is in that basket. So I think I used all of the white in this basket. If not, I used almost all of the white in this basket. And I held 2 strands of white with the Color Fusion DK to make that. That was last week, but that's not this week. I used up a lot of the yellow in the shawl, and I used up a lot of the blue in the shawl, but I still had some left over, so you're going to revisit this yarn in a few minutes. Now this can go in my scrap pile over there in that corner. And as you can see, I've been working with fiberfill. I've been doing all of the things, okay? So, I made this shawl. I did not weave in the ends. This is not a pattern. This was me just playing. I held 2 yellow together and 2 blue together. This is for a small-bodied person. This is not ever going to fit my body. But I made it because I wanted to use the yarn and I wanted to have a finished object. So I think it's beautiful. I held 2 yellow together and then when I ran out of one of the yellows, I held it together with the blue. And I really liked the way that looked. Then when the other ball of the yellow, because they were all balled up, and because they're mill ends, none of the balls were the same size, and because I had tangles, there were issues with this yarn. There was major issues. And when that second yellow ball ran out, I added the blue to the blue, and that's when I realized these were not the same weight, because this is thinner than this by a lot. And I actually had to go up a hook size here because it was not working anymore with the 5.5 millimeter that worked with 2 strands. That should have told me right here it was a DK weight. Because a 5.5, it was either 5.5 or 6 millimeter hook for the 2 held together. And then here I had to go up to a 7 millimeter. And then when the blue ran out, I added a yellow back in. And then I finished it in the yellow. And I did a little bit of ribbing. So this is mostly granny stitch, solid double crochets, and then on the end I did front post, back post ribbing. So we got a shawl. Now you could always be, it feels way too dense and heavy to do it this way, but you could be one of those girls that wear in the front. You could. I'm not. But you could do that. I'm not gonna. It does go over my shoulders, but I like my shawls to like really have some coverage. So, I mean, whatever. And I don't always make things with a purpose. Sometimes I just make them to make them. I could have made it bigger, but I was so ready to be done with the shawl and move on to the next thing because apparently that's what I'm doing now. I'm just going from project to project to project. Then, all right. In between that, I was doing tutorials for the things I can't show you right now. Those 3 things. Made the shawl, and then I bought something. Now, I talked about this in my Saturday video. Don't give me a hard time if you disagree with what I'm about to talk about. But I bought a knitting machine. And I was asking in the Facebook group, I was like, okay, like, I kind of want to buy a knitting machine. And there's a couple of podcasters who really, like, influenced me. I've wanted a knitting machine for a while now. Back when I first started really struggling with knitting and learning to knit, when I first got the hang of the knitting needles, when I really dug in and I was able to make things and they were beautiful and I was happy, I was like, why would it, and like I said, excuse this opinion. Because it might be offensive to some people. Why would anybody cheat and use a god-awful knitting machine? Why? Like, why? And I do not mean offense. This was my ignorant opinion back then, okay? I don't understand it. And because I was very new at knitting, I was so proud of my knitting. I was so proud of it. And I couldn't believe I finally caught on after 2 years of failing to learn how to knit. I finally got it, and I had to do it my own way. And you guys know I don't knit like the normal American does. I don't throw my yarn. I knit a combination of continental / Russian style knitting. I knit through the back loop almost exclusively. Like, I knit my own way, and I find joy in knitting. And I didn't understand the knitting machine, and I'm not a real big fan of the way the knitting machine hats look. And then I watched Ashley from Stitchin' Ain't Easy, and she's got a Centro. I bought the Addie King because of reviews and because of what I've seen and because I have a really large head, and like there's a lot of reasons I bought the more expensive knitting machine. I really want to use it. I want the kids to use it. I want Mr. Cinnamon to use, like, I want it to be a family. Let's make some hats or scarves, or there's so many things you can make on an Addie machine. I'm just learning. So I was watching Ashley, and I was like, okay, that's kind of cool. And she was having such a good time. She was having fun. And then she did a video like, let's see how many hats we can knit in 24 hours. And I was like, that looks like a lot of fun. And then I was watching Carrie Penny from the Happy Crafty Homemaker. And like I said, I've been mulling this over for about a year. Like, do I need one? They're expensive. Am I going to use it? Am I going to find joy in it? And then when I saw Carrie Penny is, she's a happy crafty homemaker. She has one and she has been just making things. And she's making things for the purpose of using up her yarn. She has a significantly larger stash than I do. Her stash is a stash that people dream of, right? It's a beautiful stash. But my stash becomes overwhelming at times. That's why I do like purges and I do mystery boxes on occasion, and I have to, because it's very overwhelming sometimes. Well, I'm not speaking on behalf of Carrie Penny. I'm talking about my stash and my stash alone. She has to deal with her stash the way she deals with it, you know. She's working really hard to clean up her room and to manage her stash a little better. And like, these are goals that she set for herself, which I think are fantastic, you know. And in the process of doing that, she's trying to use up, not just get rid of, because let's just get rid of it. Let's make huge donations to the college. Let's make 100 mystery boxes and just get rid of bulks of it, you know. She's trying to use it up, and there's not a right or a wrong here. I'm going to reiterate that. The way she does it, there's nothing wrong with what she's doing. Like, I am so inspired by what she's doing. She's using her knitting machine and she's making things. And I saw one of her scarves and I was like, that is really a cute scarf. Like, I would like to do something like that. I've never knit a scarf, and I've only made, I think, 1 or 2 knit shawls, because I knit slow. I knit slower than I crochet. I knit pretty fast. I mean, I can knit pretty fast. But I don't tackle any big projects, including scarves, because I think a scarf would take me a year. I have a blanket on the knitting needles. It's been on the knitting needles for 2 years now, and I cannot bring myself to finish it because it's just so much. And so when I saw her scarves and I saw her set, she made like a Beetlejuice colorway set with a hat and a scarf. She made a Christmassy looking one. Like, I was like, that's kind of neat. Like, I would really like to do that. And then I'm looking at my bucket back there of the yarns I want to use up, and I'm like, okay, but if I take a long time to work up something in, let's say, this shawl, this took a couple days, and by the time it was done, I was so ready to be onto yarn I really want to work with, because while this was beautiful yarn, I just didn't want to do this. And so I was like, if I want to use up those yarns, I can make scarves and hats. I can use those for donations. I can give them away as gifts. I can put them in the Etsy shop if I so see fit. Little man really wants to start making hats. He wants his own business so bad, the child. He keeps, can you open me an Etsy? I'm like, bro, you are too little. You're not legal to have your own business. Like, you can't. He made me my robot back here. And let me show you that, because someone asked to see it close up. It's made out of a tea pitcher, or like maybe this was used for like pouring milk or syrup. I don't know. But it's a pitcher, and his hands are whisks. And he's got little googly eyes, so he like opens and closes his face. And he's got wheels so that he can, you know, roll across the floor. Right? So he wants to make robots and sell those. Now he wants to make hats and sell those. I think, oh dang it. Turn the wheel. Turn the wheel. There we go. He just wants his own business. He sees his sister has money all the time for like the things that she wants to do. And I think he's a little bit jealous. He wants his own money, so he wants his own business, his own Etsy shop. So it's like, you can help me make some hats. I'll teach you how to use the knitting machine. As soon as I figure out how to use the knitting machine myself. Now, I ordered this from Amazon. I'm going to say this. There is a very steep learning curve when it comes to this thing. I don't know how many videos I have watched just to make a simple hat. And here's some more of the blue I left over. Here's some of the yellow. The knitting machine does not like the yellow whatsoever because it's too thin. Not even trying that one again. That needs to come out. However, it loved the blue. It loved the blue. Right now, I'm mostly doing scraps, trying to get rid of some of my scrap balls. And I'm really trying to learn how to use the knitting machine. My problem is every time, because I have been gifted, these all have little white dog hairs all over it from Oreo. Every time I have received a double knit hat like this, where it's the 2 layers folded in on a knitting machine, it does not fit anyone in this house's head, including little man. And so I've received them a couple times in Happy Mail, and that was my fear, is like, are these going to fit my head? And these all fit my head. These all fit my head. And so I'm learning about tension, and I'm learning about different yarns, and I'm learning how to work the machine properly, and I'm learning how to pick up drop stitches. And then there's another stitch where it's almost like a double stitch and it leaves a hole, and I'm trying to learn how to repair that one next. But there is a steep learning curve with these hats, with the knitting machine, and oh, what the heck. I don't know what just happened. One of the stitches was pulled out right there. Probably a dog paw got snagged it and pulled the thing up. Alright, so I'm going to show you these hats. And then I'm going to show you my idea that is a work in progress type thing. This is the leftover blue yarn from the shawl, from the bags. And what I did is I've been practicing, okay? And I wanted to make the reversible hat, and I wanted to learn how to do the double layer to where you change color. So this is blue sparkle yarn that is left over from my niece's Christmas, but also and you'll see this yarn again. It's in the Lilo N Stitches Crochet Along Fair Isle blanket this year. Because it's so, look at this. This is, I think this is Mary Maxim yarn. Oh, that smells nice. How does it smell like I can smell it? Because I'm immune to my own smell. But this smells, I don't know, it's weird. It smells really nice. I haven't washed these yet. So it's reversible, but because it's reversible, if you choose to fold it up, the brim is a different color, so it's a neat effect. And these are just me playing. But how cute is this hat? It's so sparkly. And I have a clip in my hair, so I'm not going to try it on, but like they fit really good on everyone's head in the house. A little bit tight on Mr. Cinnamon, and I actually need to make them a little bit longer if I want to fold up the brim because of things in my hair, because of just the stretch that goes this way when we put it on our big giant heads. So I need to make them a little bit longer, but these were a lot of fun and practice. And even though for me it's not long enough to fold up the brim because then it doesn't cover my ears, it's still a reversible hat. And it's, okay, I'm wearing sparkly on the outside. I just am. And it's got really good stretch to it. So I made that one. And then this one was made with scraps. Made with scraps. It was made with whatever was left over of the blue ball, and then whatever was left over from the sparkly ball. So actually no, because the other side has this color on it again. So what I think I did is I was trying to create a different colored brim here so that the hat has 2 different colors, and then I used this until it was out and finish the hat back with the light blue. And this one's a little bit longer, but not much. So if you're gonna wear it folded like this, but it looks so much better on the other side. It looks so much better this way. But these are just me figuring out how to do the color, switching out the colors, how to, you know, do the hats. Just experiment with different things. And again, these are super stretchy. Super, super stretchy. So, and the stitching is beautiful. And what I was really proud of is this is where the color changes. And a lot of the videos I was watching, there was like, you could tell there was like a hole there, or it wasn't gapped properly. And so my first try out switching colors, like, unless you're really looking for that little tiny jog, there's not any gap or hole there. And I was like, okay, I did a good job. And that's from knowing how to knit before I used the knitting machine. Like, I know how the stitches work and how, you know, I have basic knitting knowledge. So I made that one. And then I made this one. This one is a fail, but it's a fail that I learned a lot from. Of course, I don't know what happened here. I got some loose stitches. This part I actually what I want to do is I want to make single layer hats on the machine, and I want to do a decrease, which I accomplished. So this was a practice in figuring all that out. I also want to be able to do cast on this end and do something nice with this end. Now, what I tried to do on this end failed because it ended in black and I cannot see what I'm doing with the black stitches. So when I cast it on and put it on my knitting needles and started to knit, it was not working at all. So I was like, okay, and I was frustrated already because I really had trouble getting this. My knitting machine does not like the Premier Yarn cakes. Like, it was struggling through this and I don't know why, and it was so frustrating to me. Only thing I could figure is this is more of a sticky yarn than some of the other yarns, which are really slick. And it's soft. I don't understand. It just was struggling. So, I don't know. The colorway is beautiful. This bottom part is really gross, but I just crocheted it to keep it on, to finish it off. And then what I did when I was wearing it is I tucked in that crocheted bind off part. But I learned through this failure of a hat what to do and what not to do. So there's something called waste yarn, and I'm like, why would you waste yarn by using waste yarn? That's my theory. It irritates me to see how many people just waste the yarn for waste yarn, okay? I've literally seen people pull the waste yarn off and throw it in the bin, and that drives me nuts, okay? You're just literally wasting it. However, Mr. Cinnamon and another video I saw was like, why can't you just reuse the waste yarn? And I'm like, you absolutely can. That makes sense. Have a little basket that's just waste yarn. If I used waste yarn, which basically adds a couple of extra rows in yarn you're going to pull off, you can actually see the stitches to cast them onto your knitting needles, and don't use black because then I'm not going to be able to see it. And I will be able to accomplish a hat where the body is knit on the machine, and then I can pull it off and I can give it a nice decrease on the top, and I can add ribbing on my knitting needles so it's partially hand knitted and partially machine knitted. And I just think that will be fun for me once I figure out what I'm doing. This is a super slouchy hat, so unless I want it to be less slouchy, I would just tuck that in even more. And I can, this one fits over my this one fits over my clip, so see, like I could still make use of this hat, and my clip is there, and it's super cute on, and you can't tell there's a total mess up on the inside of the hat. So because I learned from this hat, and because it's still beautiful on my head as long as I tuck it in, and now because I tucked that part in, I have a double layer here, I have a cute hat. So, and it was a practice, and I did learn a lot. And then finally, I had, if you guys remember, I went to Hobby Lobby and I bought some of the Soft and Sleek. All the videos that I have watched said Soft and Sleek works really, really good, and they recommend Yarn Bee or whatever the other, Yarn Bee and Baby Bee. Soft and Sleek yarns, okay? So I bought this one because it's beautiful. This is going on the machine today, by the way, because that's what we're planning. And then I bought this one. Is this not the prettiest hat you've ever seen? It's so pretty. And it only took me about a half an hour to make the whole thing, and it's reversible. I will show you both sides, don't worry. So, and this is long enough that I can actually fold up the rim to win. Oh, of course, it's not going to stay. It stays rolled up with the compression of your head pulling on the stitches. But when it's just sitting here, it wants to roll back down. But, right? Is this hat not gorgeous? It totally gives like a Fair Isle, beautiful, just, I love this so much. I think this hat is so pretty. Now I want to go buy some more of this yarn. I don't remember what the colorway is, and I don't think I have the label on my desk still. But yeah, I want like a lot more of these. And these are just cinched closed, which I'm not a big super fan of the cinched closed look. But this is a really nice, thick, warm hat. If you live in a cold climate, which it's never cold enough for me to justify wearing 2 layers of cold. But, or 2 layers of, isn't this pretty? It's so pretty. I like it the other way better. This side ends in the clay color, whereas this side ends in the blue, which I like a little more. I just think it's so pretty. So I made those this week as well. I would like to say it takes 30 minutes for a hat on average. That is not the case right now because I'm learning. I'm so learning. So some of these hats took me a couple of hours because I would have to take it all back off and redo it and fix it. And it's a lot of minute adjustments. You have to adjust how you're holding the yarn because I hold the yarn as it guides through just to provide, I can provide my own tension that way. And so adjusting the tension changes how dense the hat is, how stretchy the hat is, how, you know, there's a lot to learn. And then you have to watch and make sure the yarn is going down over the pegs properly, which was not the case with this hat. There's just so much little things to learn. I tried knitting a flat panel because it doesn't just knit in the round. Like it will go back and forth as well and knit a panel. And I tried that and I got so frustrated. And because I was trying to do it with this yarn, it was not working. I had to take everything back off the machine. And then I ended up making this hat, which I learned a lot from. But aside from all those things, so that's what, 4 hats, a shawl, 4 hats, a shawl, the 3 things for the tutorial. I feel like I did make something else. I'm not done with the yarny talk. Hang on. I'm just gonna leave this hat on because it's super bright. It makes me feel happy. I also worked on the Jujus N Stitches blanket this week, which will bring back the blue yarn that we were talking about. Now, I'm going to say this again because little tips and tricks are, like, it's good to share tips and tricks. Jujus N Stitches she did a live last week. It was yesterday to me because I'm actually recording this on Thursday because that's all I have time for. Like I'm trying to, because Monday and Tuesday I have to, while you're watching this, I will be filming more tutorials for Premiere Week, which are going to be way bigger projects. So I need more time. So I'm pre-recording a lot of videos. Some of the videos are coming out of order and I know that's confusing to people, but like right now, like I'm trying to get as much work done in a stretched out span so that I'm not double working like I did in the past years for Premiere Week. So tips and tricks for what I did for Jujus N Stitches beautiful blanket. I am enjoying this so much. I purchased these things from Amazon. I think they were like $10 for a pack of 20. These make my life so easy, okay? Her handmade ones are fantastic. She made a little slit in them so that they hold the yarn so that her spindles are not all over the place. For me, when I'm working, when I'm crocheting, like I crocheted these actually upside down. I'll talk about that in a minute. While I was crocheting, like I use this one, and then when I'm done and I'm moving on to the next section, I just clip it. And then when I get done with this next one, for this next heart, I just clip it. They stay where they're supposed to stay. I'm not fighting. I don't have things hanging off my project. Like, this made my life so much easier, because I know that had I done it any other way, I would have gotten frustrated and quit. I know this. So these are amazing. I will put a little Amazon link below for those. The yarn that I used this week is the red and the pink, and this entire blanket is sparkly. Like, the entire blanket is sparkly. The silver in between is sparkly. The red is sparkly. The pink is sparkly. Okay, so Jada's January, she did snowflakes. And I like that she did this because she was talking about this in her live. She made all of the patterns like mirrored. So the snowflake is mirrored in 4 directions. So it's mirrored. If you cut it this way, this is the same as this. But also if you cut it this way, this is the same as that. Hearts, obviously you can't do that with. But the hearts are a mirror, so that the same, right? So because this is a double mirror, it's mirrored this way and this way. This is actually the bottom of the blanket. So I crocheted it the way she suggests, and I crocheted it up this way. But her blanket, she is doing January at the bottom. And the way she explained it in her live video is that the way she looks at it as, she didn't explain it exactly this way, but she says the time is passing, so January is the furthest away, so that's at the bottom of the blanket. Totally get that. I understand. Because it's kind of like if you have one of those calendars that you rip away the pages. You guys know what I'm talking about. Those desk calendars where you rip away the pages, right? Okay, if you're going to take those days and you're going to rip off the January and you put it down on the bin. Then you rip off February, you put it on the bin. You rip off March, you put it on the bin. January's at the bottom. That makes sense, okay? For me, I want it to read like January's at the top and then going down. So because of that, because this was the bottom of the blanket, I made it the top of the blanket. So the same edging, this is where we started at. And then when it came time for the hearts, because she's doing it where the hearts are on top of the snowflakes, her hearts are upright this direction. So that's the way the pattern is written, is to start here and work your way up. I just flipped the graph upside down. And I started working from the bottom of the graph or the top of the heart and worked my way from the top of the graph down. It's really easy. You just have to fix the numbers. Like, you don't even have to literally flip the graph upside down. Because for me, I buy Jada's patterns. I buy them so that I have the graph on my phone at all times. And I watch her video from beginning to end in case there's any tips and tricks she watches or she puts in the videos. And so I watched the video all the way through. Then I purchased the pattern. Her patterns are not real expensive. They're like $5 American or somewhere around there. And love her patterns, by the way. They're very simple, very just, they have the graph for the design right in the pattern. And she also gave alternatives for, this is her January pattern for the video, but she also gives you alternates so that you can do an entirely solid heart, or you could fill in these stitches with a different color so that you have like 3 colors on there, but then you need 2 bobbins. So I was like, I want solid. As soon as I saw it, because she asked me about it, she's all, are you doing the solids? Or are you doing like are you doing the open heart? Or are you doing a variation? And I was like, I kind of want to do solid, open, because it's a beating heart. Now, I have a horribly irregular heartbeat, so my heartbeat would not look like this, but my heartbeat would be all over the place. But isn't that beautiful? I'm so happy with this. And another thing that I'm doing, because my backgrounds, I am using up sparkle yarns that I have. I don't have all of the sparkle yarn colors. I don't have green. And I'm thinking if she does a shamrock next month, I'm probably going to need green, so I'm going to have to go to Hobby Lobby and get some green because that's the only place that is local to me that has sparkle yarn in lots of colors. Joann's does not and Michael's does not. So the pink that I used this month is Hobby Lobby. It's very sparkly and pretty, and it just, I could almost smell like candies while I was working with this because it's just so delicious. And then the red that I'm using is Mary Maxim Glimmer yarn. Love this yarn. It fits and goes so well with the Hobby Lobby yarn. So Mary Maxim is killing it with the glimmer yarn. But I also have silver, which they call baby blue. You can see it's kind of blue leaning, but that's as gray as my shirt, right? It's gray, but it's blue leaning, but they call this baby blue. So if you order the Mary Maxim Glimmer in the color baby blue, you're getting gray. Just fair warning. So what I'm doing, because the backgrounds are different colors based on what I want it to be, because I mean, this would be beautiful if it was all one color like Jada is doing. That would be fantastic. But for me, I wanted months. You know, I wanted the months to be separate. I wanted the months to stand out on their own. And that's what's so wonderful about knitting and crochet is like, you can take someone else's design and you can just tweak it a little bit and just make it different, make it unique, make it your own. And I love that about crochet. I love that about knitting. Like, you just make it your own. And so right here, I know you can't really see because it's blended in a little bit. There is a silver stripe there. I did 2 rows of half double crochet, but I'm thinking a row double crochet would have worked just as well. And so in between every month, I'm going to do 2 rows of half double crochet, which equals about a row of double crochet, which, whatever. But it would have saved me time to do just double crochets, but I had to be extra. So we got that going on. And then I love that she gave the alternate options to do open and closed hearts or tri-level hearts or like whatever. I had so much fun working this. I did have to do a little bit of brain work because I had to remember which one was open and which one was closed. The pattern is really easy to interpret. The graph, I actually didn't even read the pattern. I just went off the graph because graphs to me come so easily, and I know that is not the case for everyone. So I actually just had the graph open on my phone and I just read it top to bottom instead of bottom to top. And when I designed my own graphs, which I have done for knitting, but I've never done graphs with crochet. So this is a lot of fun to me, like in so many ways. I create my graphs top to bottom. So I always work them upside down. So when I'm crocheting it this way. When I knit, I do the same thing. I crochet it upside down, or I knit it upside down, and I read the pattern top to bottom instead of bottom to top. So for me, this came really, really, really easily. But I did have to do brain work and just remember when I was doing what, and then I had to keep track of what row I was on, and then I was doing this at night, and then I got really tired, and I learned from this one not to do this when you're tired because you're going to lose track and mess up somewhere, and I did, and my snowflakes are not perfect, but that, I don't care. It's my blanket, you know? So when I got tired, I put this down. I was like, okay, I have to remember I'm on row 5 tomorrow. I'm on row 5. And because I'm doing it backwards, I have to remember I'm on row 5, but also that the next row is row 4. So it took a little brain work. I was so happy though. And then what's funny is I was like, okay, I want to show Jada because her and I were talking and she was asking about, you know, what I was doing for my hearts and and I was explaining to her about this and she's all, I can't wait to see it. That sounds so exciting, you know. And she's been so sweet to me. She's just, it's crazy because Jada N Stitches I've looked up to her. She's the queen. She's absolutely the queen. She's who taught me how to crochet. She's like the reason I'm here. And so I've given her lots of praise in the fact that it's because Jada that I'm even on here. And so to look up to her so much and then just have her be so nice, like she's genuinely just really nice. And like, I don't know, it just makes me so happy. I've been teasing the heck out of my family. Like, see, I told you Jade is my best friend. And I know I'm not trying to sound stalkery. I'm totally joking. It's a joke. But like, at the same time, like, we've been chatting a little bit and I'm so excited about that because she's so, so kind and sweet. And it's just like they tell you never meet your idol because you'll be disappointed, you know? She's totally sweet. So I could not wait to share this with her. So I sent her a picture on Etsy, and then soon after that, I went onto YouTube to see what was going on because I was in here working on other things while I like to have noise. So I was like, do I want music or do I want videos right now? And so I wanted the video, and so I opened up YouTube, and she's on live, and I no sooner turn on her live video, and she's talking about my my blanket and what I told her I was doing with my blanket. And I was like, see, it was meant to be. It was meant to be. The timing was perfect. And then the last things that I'm going to show you, I made, these are sewing projects, and, oh, he's sideways. These are frogs. I sewed frogs. They are funky as heck. I saw a design for these on Pinterest. Matter of fact, I will, because I screenshot. I don't tend to save patterns and stuff, but I screenshot ideas that I see that inspire me. So I saw these cute little frogs on Pinterest. Hang on a second, it'll get dark enough. Maybe. All right. So I saw these cute frogs on the Pinterest, and it says Ann Wood handmade. I screenshotted it along with some other things, including this, which is the basic design for her frog. This was all things that were on Pinterest. I just screenshotted it. I never clicked on the link other than sometimes I go through Pinterest, sometimes I go through Instagram, and I give myself a little screenshot, and then I'm like, okay, I might want to make that in the future. They also, by the way, had these cute little turtles. I was looking for ideas for some of the new fabric that I have, and the frog was one of the things that popped up. And I was like, I want to make one of those frogs so bad. These frogs are not perfect. I love them so much. They are funky and cute, and Juju is in love and asked me to make her one as well. So, this is my frog. I just made it out of Pioneer Woman fabric. I made his legs have like a little crease line in them so that if he's sitting on a shelf or something, like his legs bend. This was my prototype, my practice frog. This was me trying to figure out what I wanted to do, and how, his arms are kind of long. His arms are kind of, it doesn't matter. He's cute, and this gives me like classic Ragdoll vibes. You can tell that he's a frog. He's a funky frog, but he makes me so happy. So I followed basically what I screenshot and just showed you. I kind of freehand cut around the eyes. I did the arms and the legs. I sewed his pieces together and I stuffed him. Took me over an hour to find my fluff because it was behind the dog cage for some god-awful reason. Don't know why. I'm searching all over in here. I'm like, where's my fluff? Where's my fluff? I can't find my... I was like stressing out to max levels, okay? I emailed Mr. Cinnamon at work, and I'm like, I can't find my fluff. Like, it's driving me crazy. He's all, I don't know what to tell you. Juju, do you know where my fluff is? No, I haven't seen it. The thing I hate the most in this house is when I ask, have you seen, or do you know what happened to this, or do you, why is this, the answer is always, I don't know. I don't know. Somebody knows something, because I didn't put it behind the dog cage, okay? Now granted, it may have got stuck on the dog cage and fell behind, and people don't remember that they stuck it there, but I had my fluff in here because I was making my snake. So, yeah, I was very frustrated. Could not find my fluff. I finally found my fluff. I was able to put him together. He's just... And I just put safety eyes in. The pattern calls for buttons to sew on, and I was like, I have safety eyes. Safety eyes will work. Because these are not going to little kids. These are mine. Well, 2 of these are mine. One of them is going to Juju because she wanted one with her fabric. Then I made one with Christmas fabric, but because it's green. I love these so much, and they're so much fun. And like, even if he doesn't look like a frog to you, he looks like a monster. He's the cutest little monster I've ever seen, right? He's so cute. So this fabric is glittery and it's holly berries, but like, because he's green, he just looks more froggy. And so I think there's going to be more of these in the future. Gotta change my battery. I'll be right back. I just talked for a good 20 minutes and realized I hadn't hit record when I came back from the battery. Oh, okay, so I think the last thing I was showing you guys was this cute little frog. So after I made these 2 frogs, Juju came in. She wanted me to make her a frog. And if you guys recall, I got her some cherry fabric at Hobby Lobby clearanced out. And so I was like, do you want a cherry frog? And she was super, super excited by that. So I made her a cherry frog. And none of these are perfect. I'm going to say that right now. I know you can see that his arms are uneven. I don't care. She doesn't care. She likes him a whole lot. And I don't remember if I said in the first video or the second one that I just use safety eyes on these. The pattern calls for buttons. If I'm repeating myself, I apologize because I thought I was recording last time. It calls for buttons to be sewn on, but I was like, I have safety eyes. I'm just going to use safety eyes. So he's got like gold sparkly safety eyes, as does this guy, because he's got gold sparkles on his body too. The blue guy has green sparkly eyes. And I just got these eyes out from Amazon. So Juju is in love with him and she wants to take him upstairs into her room because he's so cute. But I made each one of these different, and I'm not using a template or a pattern or anything. I'm just freehanding what I think the frog's body should look like. These 2 are the closest in size, but I kind of like his long elongated body as well. So yeah, I had a lot of fun making those. I want to make some more in the future. I also want to make a ragdoll, like a basic ragdoll, not an animal, just like a basic humanoid basic ragdoll that you would have seen like on Little House on the Prairie. That kind of doll. When Juju was a baby, I made her a ragdoll and it was the cutest thing. It was not perfect. Like the head was not big enough for the body of the doll, and like I really struggled. I made the arms too slender, and so I had a hard time flipping the material back right side out. And I know a lot more tips and tricks now, so I think I can make one a little bit better. But I want to make a ragdoll so bad. Now, when Juju was a baby, I made her one, and I used one of her outfits. One of my favorite outfits that she had is this really white, pristine, ruffly, cute little outfit that she used to wear when she was like 3 months old. I put that on the ragdoll, and then I gave it one of her old bonnets. So the ragdoll actually has sentimental meaning to me because it's wearing one of her outfits that I love putting her in. And we still have the ragdoll hanging around here somewhere. Not perfect. Lots of mistakes, just like the frogs. But I like stuff like that. I like stuff that is folk art, that is like really basic techniques. Like this is really a basic design. I just cut the pieces and I sewed them. I flipped them right side out and I put them together. And yeah, it was a lot of fun to make this. I want to make some more stuff like this. I want to make some more flowery or fruity looking frogs, and I want to make a ragdoll because I think that's a lot of fun. When I have all the extra time that I don't really have to do all these things that I want to do, like all of the arts. Now, what did I say after that? I showed you this hat again because it was on my head last we spoke. My goal today is to get this skein in the knitting machine. I talked about this too because even though there are mistakes in this, I want to keep trying to perfect this technique. And even though like right now, off the head, it looks terrible. But even if I didn't tuck it in like I showed you guys, aside from it being way too long, what I wanted to accomplish worked. So putting a crochet border on the bottom worked, held all the stitches in. If it would have been black like this was, but I'm working with scraps right now because I don't want to like mess up a whole skein of yarn. It works like this. I just have to do a little bit more math, a little bit more practice on maybe using waste yarn and picking up stitches that way instead of what I tried to do with this, because this didn't work. And it's even, because it's so long, it's long enough. It's getting caught on my thing. It's long enough to fold up and it looks okay, but the problem is this is the purl side. So I'm wondering if even I could make a double brim and fold it and sew it, but then I don't want to do that either because that's going to restrict the stretch that's down here. And because we have big heads in this house, I just don't think that's going to work. So there's some more work to do on that prototype, but this was really a good practice run and I learned a lot from it. And so, yeah. This week is going to be a lot more of busy work where I'm doing tutorials as well as filming for the rest of the week. P-Yow for the rest of the month is just going to be me showing you probably unboxings of yarn that I have ordered or am ordering for Premiere Week. I have some more Serenity Chunky coming in, I think today. So maybe that will be on the channel this Thursday, I don't know. And I'm going to talk about the plans I have for that yarn. And then I need to work on Bentley's blanket again this week. And then Tuesday tea, I got new tea. I cannot wait to share this with you guys. It's mom tea. And I haven't opened that yet. I ordered from, what is this company? The Republic of Tea. But I ordered from them on Amazon because I think it was last Tuesday tea, I got the tea from the Republic of Tea, which was what is the name of that TV show? You guys know it had the old lady queen on there. I really liked that tea, and I was like, well, I wouldn't mind trying another flavor of that next week. So I ordered this because it says, Mom, you're the very best. And it's rooibos, which is my favorite, so I wanted to try that this week. But they also sent me free samples, which I was like super excited. So we got new tea for tomorrow. I don't know what we're going to talk about during Tuesday tea, but I, of course, will figure something out. I will, of course, figure something out to talk about. Wednesday's video is already recorded. We're going to have, I found yarn at a grocery store. We're going to talk about that on Wednesday. And yeah, it's going to be a fun week again. Every week is a fun week here on Cinnamon Stitches because we just like doing what we do, right? And so, yeah, I'm going to let you guys go. I really wish I had pushed record because I had a lot more to say in that last 20-minute segment that didn't get recorded. But, like, it is what it is. Like, what else you going to do? And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.